Okay then, Quinn, so taking a look at these two swings now, the left-hand one here, we can see was your before, and as we discussed, obviously, you've got that kind of capital Y setup, weakish left hand, and because of this sort of setup you're creating, as you came back to impact, the club would like to be pointing out to the right. So some of the things you did, as you said, you were trying to get rid of that kind of over-the-top movement, is almost a necessity for you to square the club face up. So we can see a bit of a longer swing, which we'll talk about in a second. But as you come back in the golf ball now, your hands at impact now, back behind the ball, kind of flicking the club, just an attempt to start the ball left of target. And that's always a reason for people trying to sort of send or safely hit the ball towards target. They know, because of hitting a lot of shots, that ball is going to be curving off to the right because of your setup, and therefore during the swing you started making compensation. Every now and then it would work okay, but as we talked about during the session, we're looking for that consistency, hitting that ball a bit straighter with a lot less side spin, so we can move through the bag and be more successful with the longer club. So look on the right hand side here now, starting off with the club in front of you. Just going to turn that club face down. At the moment we'll sort of go to 10 o'clock. As we said, in time, once you get used to the arms coming from a better position and the angles you're producing, the need to have the club that close won't be such a requirement. But once that club now gets in the position on the ground, club face is turned. Now we're going to move our body just as much to the left-hand side, a little bit of hip turn. This is probably enough. Now, in fairness, you went a little bit more, but around about here would be pretty good. So we're getting a nice sort of lowercase Y shape there. Lead arm and the club shaft are kind of more in line. And the weight now looking a bit more kind of 50-50 at address. Now, in terms of the backswing, the focus now on the backswing is going to be how this right hip is going to move. Now, we still want the chest and the torso to move over to that right side. So we did that just drill. We put the club across your shoulder. And if you were to do this at home, have a club on the inside of your foot. Get your chest and shoulders rotating so the green line across your shoulder matches up with the green line on the floor. Now, in terms of the swing when you're hitting the goal, I think for you it's going to be a good focus to think about this right hip. Getting this right hip now to move and rotate, so you're actually creating a bit of space there between the green line. You can see on the left-hand one, as you went back, your hips did a lot of kind of sliding on the way back. And this actually caused more of the oversing. It's just the fact your spine was tilting this way and the club there in that sort of 90-degree position to your spine angle was creating the overswing look. But if you try to shorten the swing, it'd be obviously no good. So the focus is going to be on that right hip when you're swinging the golf club. And I think when you're doing some practice drills, you'll be using that club across your shoulders and trying to match it up with the green line down here on the inside of your foot. But so once that club face now is in a better position in terms of the grip, we can make that swing back. And almost without discussing it, you can see now your impact position. Because the shots we were seeing with that change of grip were having a sort of different curve more to the left-hand side, getting more of that shape, and certainly a lot less slice spin. The feeling for you now to try and recover and save that shot was going. So you can see now your left side of the body now moving a lot more into this sort of imagery, wall and so on, getting the left shoulder, left arm, left hand and left leg into that green line, moving the body better. And that's going to improve your low point of the swing. Get the club now striking the golf ball first and then a bit of turf, as opposed to previously where you hit the golf ball, you'd often hit the ground behind the golf ball. So these two impact positions you can see now from before and after, very, very different, much more shifting onto that front leg on the right-hand one, and then through to kind of your natural follow through up on the left side. So work on that sort of pre-shot movement. Again, just practicing this at home so you get the feel of what straight feels like and what the correct position looks like. And then in terms of the swing now, the right hip is going to be your focus of what you're going to do in terms of swinging the golf club. The practice drill you can do at home just to get the chest and the body working better is going to be the one where we put the club across your shoulders and then match up those shoulders to that green line on the floor. So hope that all makes sense. Any questions, obviously give me a shout and I'll catch up with you soon. Cheers, Quinn.